Ayo, I'm Bethanjan and welcome back to another video in the anatomy series. Anatomy. Today we're going to be talking about and learning about the arms. So let's get to it. Alrighty, so just going off of like this next section, I can say for a fact I didn't realize how complicated the arms kind of were when it came to the muscles. So we're first going to start off with the bone structure instead, and then later on we're going to get into the meat of it all. Pun intended, get it? Because muscles and meat. That's dumb. Anyways, basically, if you divide your arm in half, right at the elbow, you cut it in half, you have two parts of your arm. You have the top layer, which only has one main bone from your shoulder down to your elbow. And then you actually have two bones going from your elbow to your wrist. It gets pretty simple. I feel like at this stage it's really helpful. I feel like it's really helpful to just start off with the bones of it all, so then you can see how everything is kind of piled on top of each other. Now, one thing to notice about the second part with the two bones is that one of your bones actually rotates as you are twisting your wrist. So if you have your palm facing up, you can actually feel this on your arm if you do it. Have your palm facing up and then twist your arm. You can, I don't know how to do this with my microphone and everything. Okay, as you're twisting your hand down, one of your bones is actually twisting so that you can do this. If you think about it, you can't go the opposite way. You can only go from your thumb going inwards. Your thumb can't go backwards, or else that's just not how your bones work. But this bone in particular is called the radius. It is the one bone that connects from the outside of your arm when your palm is facing upwards. And when you twist your hand downwards, then your radius is going over your other bone, if that makes sense. I know it's a little complicated. It gets even more complicated when we get into the muscles of everything. The muscles in the second part of your arm from your elbow to your wrist is so complicated because all those muscles are then going into your hand muscles, which control how your fingers can actually move with your tendons and everything. Like, it is very, very complex. So I try to explain it in a way, or show you guys in a way. Maybe visually you'll collect more information from me just talking about this, but don't get too hard on yourself when it comes to the muscle part because it's challenging. All right, so we have our bone structure here. Really easy, really simple. I go out with some pen, just so that it makes it a little bit more clear to see, and you can also see how I have divided it up into two different sections like I mentioned earlier. It's really easy to think of it that way, especially when you just need a simple little guideline, or even when you're thinking of like a simple anatomy stuff, you can just think of 1, 2. And here I try to recreate that same bone structure and then go over it with the muscles. It's really challenging to see just because I decided not to use some paper to go over it, see-through paper. I didn't decide to use tracing paper. That's what it's called, tracing paper. I should have, honestly, probably could have put that over it and then gone over it with the muscles, but there's kind of like, again, with how there's two different sections for the arm with the bones, it's kind of like the same thing with the muscles, if you think about it that way. It's so complicated on the second half. It's so complicated. Just try. I don't even know half these names. I don't even know any of them. I just know the bone names. That's about it, to be honest. I'm not even joking. But if you want to think about it into different sections here, you can kind of add like a third section, because you have your shoulder, your shoulder muscle that kind of is at the top of your arm, and then it leads into your the muscles that are on top of your humerus, and then the muscles that go from your elbow into your wrist. Those muscles in between are really complex, and it's really challenging to see here as I try to demonstrate. I'm trying my best. It's just really complicated. Obviously, I tried, and then I was like, okay, this isn't working. So the third resource that I have on here, second resource that I have on here, I wanted to show this in a more simpler way to think about it. I know a lot of people do this even for legs, and I was thinking about including legs, but I feel like legs are a whole different thing because they're attached to your hips and all that jazz. It's a little similar, but different in a way. So I go in detail of drawing out this arm for you guys, and then I'm going to show you how you can think of this differently. One way to think of anything anatomy related, we've talked about this in some of my other videos, that anatomy can be broken down into really simple shapes. Like, again, this guy. We talked about him when we were doing the torso, and again, I'm going to recommend this to anybody. You can even see here for the arm, you have 1, 2, 3, and then we have a fourth little joint here at the top. I guess you could think of it that way if it really comes down to wanting to like be really simplified, or you don't want to get like too anatomy, confused like I have been in the past. Think of it this way. This is really helpful. But here, I was trying to demonstrate how you can think of the arm in like tubes, like these cylindrical tubes. So you have the upper part, the bottom part, and then of course you have to keep in mind where the joint is at and where it's rotating at the elbow. This is a lot easier than trying to learn all the muscles, so I would recommend maybe starting out with this. Unless you want to get super detailed, then go into studying the bones and the muscles, because especially when you want to make realistic arms and stuff, you're gonna have it where you can see some of those bones on the top of the layer of the skin. You can even here, let me see if I can do this. Okay. If you hold your forearm, okay, and you're twisting your arm, you can feel that bone rotating. And when some people flex, when they have their rotation in, you can see a specific line. Now on me, you can't see this, but in this last reference that I'm working on, you can actually see what is happening with the this person that I'm drawing here with the arms in the back. You can see that line that's happening with the forearm. Not only is that from the muscle that's going on, but that's also from the bone being twisted. I know it's complicated again, it's just the way it is. It's anatomy. Anatomy is always complicated, but we're trying to figure it out. Let's figure it out together, right? Kinda. Alrighty, so kind of to wrap us up here, I decided, again, I was trying to show my best, like, how I think of drawing the arms is, like, to really simplify it down is after you have everything drawn out and you sketched it, erase it all, and then go back in with those small details. When you're drawing anything anatomy related, again, drawing simple lines of where the muscles are being seen, where there are shadows, or you can even tell on the left arm, the elbow, I used like a tiny little triangle. Tiny. Stuff like that. Like, don't go all the way out and trying to get every single little detail. This is practice. This is supposed to help you in the long run, hopefully. I know it's super complicated, but that's just anatomy for you. Again, I would like to say, if you are interested in the next anatomy videos, we're going to be focusing on the hands, something that a lot of people want to learn about. Hands are they are complex, yes, but they are also manageable if you learn the secrets and tricks to hands. They're not that bad. It's kind of like similar to the arms here with the cans, the can-like tubes that we learned here. It's kind of like taking that into hands, but hands are really challenging. That's going to be the next video. Hopefully you guys learned something from this, took something away. All the referencing, I'm talking so fast today. Probably shouldn't have drank coffee. Anyways, if you guys want to follow along with any of the references, or if you're like, where is this image reference from? I have all of the links below. If you wanted to use those in any way, follow along, like go through the video again, feel free to do that. They're free, non-copyright free, so you can use them literally anytime, anywhere, any of your references you want to be using, or you're just wanting to practice, feel free to use them. Anyways, I know this was kind of a weird and different approach to an anatomy video. Usually I try to keep some really straightforward. Again, I try to do that again in this one, but you know, arms are challenging. But slowly we're getting to the point where we can put everything together. So hopefully that's a little bit more simpler for you guys. Because anatomy is so challenging. It really is. Anyways, that is it from me. Hope you guys learned something from this. Obviously, took some knowledge, apply it in your drawing daily life, and practice. Because practice is gonna help you. Not make you perfect, but it's gonna help you. Yeah. Like and subscribe if you want. I'm trying to keep this series going and just sharing kind of like what I've learned from anatomy personally, and yeah, you know the vibes. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!